Hey, so I'm sick. You should probably know that going into this. I'm sorry for my voice. But I want to do a quick little review because I have some things to say and I can't fit it all into a tweet on Twitter. So, Buffy the Vampire Slayer, the movie. When did this come out? Hopefully it'll tell me. 1992. I just got done watching this. Once again, I'm so sorry for my voice. Just got done watching this, and I have thoughts. Thoughts that cannot fit into 280 characters or however many you can put on Twitter now. I did put a little synopsis on Twitter of my thoughts, but this is the longer version. Um, Interesting. This is without a doubt the worst paced film I think I've ever seen in my life. Um, Straight up. That being said, I don't hate it. In fact, I like it. I actually do like this movie. It's it's just barely. It just barely gets a like from me, but it does get a like. Um, I I do like this movie. I think this movie is fun. There, the problem with it comes. I'm not sure where it comes, to be entirely honest. Other than you know, really, what the problem is that, like I said, it's paced terribly. This movie is 86 minutes. I don't know if they probably get focused, but this movie is 86 minutes, and it's trying to tell a complete, pretty much the most standard hero's journey of all time. Basically, like follows every single uh, place along the line of a hero's journey. It's trying to tell a hero's journey in under 90 minutes. And so, as a consequence, there is pretty much zero time for anything that is not progressing the plot forward. Which means we don't get to hang out with the characters. We don't get to hang out or chill, take a chill pill anywhere, as Buffy would say. Take a chill pill. That sounds like something she'd say. Yeah, we don't get to take a chill pill in this movie. This movie is nothing but plot progression. Literally, like, you might think I'm exaggerating. I'm legitimately not exaggerating. This movie has no breathing room. It is the most compact hero's journey I have ever seen. Legitimately, there is no straying from the hero's journey. There is no straying from the plot. And as a consequence, things just kind of happen, and we don't really get the bridge that would make those things happening make sense. Like, God, there's so many examples, but like, let's just use the example of Buffy wanting to, going from reluctant hero to, cool badass girl. Basically, we don't get to see it. Basically, he throws a knife at her and she catches it, and then it cuts, and now she's training. I guess that was all she needed. Crazy. And just pretty much every single, like, stop along the way of a hero's journey, this film does, but there's no connecting railroad to those stops, if that makes sense. It is just the stops. There is legitimately, like, scenes happen in this movie where it's like, whoa, I feel like I missed several scenes. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like I missed half of the movie because all that they're showing us is just the plot points. There's no connecting railroad to these plot points. It is just the plot points. Just the plot points. No connecting. Nothing connecting. It is just the plot points. This is the most bare bones, like I said, just terribly paced film I've ever seen in my life. That being said, Like I said, it is fun. I'm going to explain to you why it's fun, because this channel is usually pretty positive. So I'm going to actually explain why I liked this movie. I think this is a 6 out of 10, despite sort of everything about it. Number one, it's funny. There were several laugh out loud moments for me. I'm a big fan of Joss Whedon's writing. I think he's a very funny guy. I think he knows how to write quirky, silly dialogue. And yeah, he's writing it here. Several great quotables from this. Several just very quirky, silly, fun lines in this movie. And that's really what keeps it going. Because even though you can't really follow the plot, because the plot is so bare bones, that there's nothing to really attach yourself to in terms of the narrative. You can still attach yourself to the characters, or rather the hope that the characters will be funny, which is pretty much all you can really attach to. Because not giving the movie any breathing room, we don't really... I don't even think Buffy really develops. I don't think we get time to hang out with Buffy and really know who she is either. But she's definitely the closest one to that we get. But even though we don't know the inner workings of her brain, or she's not a deep character at all. She is exactly what it is on this box. She is a valley girl, and she has to kill vampires. And that's it. It's literally, there is nothing deeper to this movie. This is not only is the plot bare bones, everything is bare bones. Everything is exactly what it says on the box. That is the best way to describe this movie. Exactly what it says on the box. Literally no surprises, no subversions, nothing. But if you think the idea of a valley girl fighting vampires sounds funny, it'll be funny. It's a funny movie. And that's really why it gets a like. Because I think realistically this is closer to a 4 out of 10. But I'm giving it a 6 out of 10 because I did like it. And actually, no, screw it. I'll give it a 4 out of 10. Something can be less than a 6, and I can still like it. I can still recommend it. Yeah, this is a 4 out of 10. But I liked it, and it is simply because of how funny it is. It is a funny movie. It is a charming movie. It is likable. It has a very likable energy, which is enough, at least for this one film, to sort of sustain itself and justify its own existence. Just the fact that it is a likable presence. You can put this on in the background and it's likable. Yeah, it's just a likable movie with likable performances and a likable script for the most part. I have a little bit of an issue with the script I'll get to in a second. But if you take nothing away from this review, just know this movie is likable. This movie is funny, and it is likable. And if you think the premise sounds neat, you'll probably enjoy it. Now, before I head off, I'm just going to talk very briefly. I don't want to talk your ear off about this, but I'm going to talk very briefly about the odd sexism of this film. Now, I know everyone's going to head off right now as soon as I said that. But, Joss Whedon is a feminist icon. He's a social justice icon. I actually don't know if he is anymore, after the thing with his wife. But, for the sake of argument, let's say he still is. I know he certainly used to be. It could just be this movie's 1992, because there definitely is a feminist angle here. It's just uncomfortably surrounded by... I'll just go ahead and say, just uncomfortable sexism. There are 3 period jokes in the movie, at least that I counted. There actually could be more. Because they introduce the idea that she has, a spidey sense, which is menstrual cramps, for whatever reason. And, that never comes back after they introduce it. Like I think it happens once before they introduce it, and then they introduce it, and then it never comes back. So that was really weird. Unless I missed something. But yeah, there's like 3 that I counted period jokes in the movie just straight up. At the expense of women, not like for them. And then pretty much every male character in the film, and pardon my language here, you know I don't curse on this channel, calls Buffy a certain word that begins with a B, and it's not her name. You know, it is what it is. It's like 30% of the dialogue, and it is uncomfortable, especially in this day and age, to see a teenage girl get called that by like everybody in the film. But you know, maybe it's just a relic of its time. Who knows? You know, I don't want to judge it too hard for that, but it is kind of unavoidable, in my opinion. As for the action and the editing in general, very poor. I think, with the exception of the final fight. The final fight has some pretty fun action. For the rest of it, though, this movie was hacked to death in editing, wasn't it? Like, there is just, I don't even know, just like nothing, like, like, yeah, I don't even know how to describe it. Just the action is terrible. No impact on anything. It cuts away before anything can happen. I don't even think there's sound effects when stuff happens. Even when you see it on screen, like the stake entering like the heart, I don't think there's sound effects for it most of the time. Just bafflingly edited. Like I said, I don't think this is a good movie. I think it's a fun movie. I think it's a likable movie. That's my thesis. I need to stop talking because I'm in pain. Cool. Buffy.